Live!
What's that? Know your role and shut your mouth, you jabroni!
Yeah, when it's grim, be the Grim Reaper and go get it.
It's my home's house! And it is good! 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 Woo! Arrowhead man! The Lombardi Trophy has a red and gold reflection! You gotta fight for your right to party!
Let's go!
Howdy, Chiefs Kingdom. It's Wednesday. It's 8 o'clock. It's Chiefs Kingdom Live. Thank you so much for joining us. Real quick, while you're here, before you forget, make sure to click or tap that like, click or tap that subscribe. Tell a friend, tell a family member, tell some Chiefs fans, tell them to tell some more Chiefs fans. Help spread the word. We'd sure appreciate it. Got a good show in store for everybody tonight. We're going to break down another Chiefs win in Las Vegas against the Raiders.
Oh, I get it.
Talk
Hello,
about
SS.
T. Rice's big day. We'll look ahead to the game on Sunday Night Football against the Green Bay Packers on the frozen tundra of Lambeau Field. Lots of other stuff to get to. As always, if you got a question or a comment, make sure you shoot it down there in the bottom. We'll try to get it up on screen here. Before we get to the show and see how you guys are doing, I think we're 9 subscribers away. 500. So if you haven't clicked subscribe, click subscribe, and then make sure you go watch the short video that Nick and Bo put together that tells you how to enter. Because once that sucker gets to 500, we're going to pick some winners and get some stuff out. If you travel over to our X account, the app formerly known as Twitter, we have another contest giveaway there. I don't know if you heard this or not, if you noticed, but Harrison Butker's perfect on the season so far, 48 for 48.
Yeah.
Let's go.
If he can pull off, which I would believe would be the 5th or 6th perfect season in NFL history, we're going to hook somebody up with a Harrison Butker jersey from the ChiefsShop.com. Bo, I don't think you're eligible to win, but
It's a dope prize.
so head over there. You got to be following us. You got to repost the post. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram.
That's a thing, I think.
That's coming next
That's
week.
some old man shit right there.
Yeah. So you can follow us at Chiefs Kingdom Live at all the social media platforms. Before we get into it, fellas, how are you doing tonight, Nick?
I'm doing good, man. I felt like for some reason busting out that black and red Chiefs gear this week. So felt good. It's officially jacket weather. We had snow on the ground. We're going to have some cold weather games here coming up at Arrowhead. We whooped the Raiders' ass after a pretty startling start to the game. So it felt good to kind of storm back and see the Chiefs looking like the Chiefs that we hoped that they'd be all season. And it's Wednesday, so we're doing the show, man. I'm pretty fucking good. How are you, Bo?
Doing good, man. Still trying to recover from Thanksgiving. I ate so much food. I had the folks in town, and my mom threw down. And so nothing like mom's good old home cooking, right? I think I put on like 8 or 10 pounds. So still trying to work that off now. Push-ups every day. So it is what it is. But, dude, yeah, like as Nick said, doing good. Coming off of a win now after that terrible shoot yourself in the foot loss to the Eagles. It was really good to see the Chiefs kind of show up to form and kind of reinstill that faith that this team is that team that can come back on somebody when they're down 10, 14 points, right? And so doing good. Scotty, how you doing, man?
Doing real well. Chiefs got another win over the Raiders, which is always good. To me, they're the biggest division rival. I know a lot of people think it's maybe the Broncos, but to me, I still got the hatred for the Raiders more than probably any other team in the NFL. Just something.
It's not so much here. It's not so much here. It's just like right here. It hurts.
Right. Yeah. Right. So can't stand the Raiders. But yeah, no, I'm doing good. Had a good Thanksgiving. So took it easy. Ate some good food. It was good seeing your folks, Bo.
Yeah. They enjoyed seeing you guys.
Yeah, it's great.
So before we get into it here, we've got some little Chiefs news. Don't know who all saw the Alex Smith appearance on, what was that? Was that Sunday NFL Countdown or something like that?
One of those shows, yeah.
One of those talking head shows. if you missed it, basically Alex Smith just completely disregarded the Patriot dynasty greatness to Teddy Bruschi's face and to Randy Moss's face and Rex Ryan's face, or who's the other one?
Yeah, it was Rex Ryan. He was the
Rex
coach
Ryan.
in the division.
Right. Basically saying, look, you had a cakewalk to the playoffs every year because your division was complete trash. What do you say? The least competitive division in NFL history for a decade or 2 decades. It was glorious. Nick, what did you think about Alex Smith throwing a little shade at the Patriots?
I thought it was great. I mean, Tom Brady, what precipitated that conversation was Tom Brady saying that the NFL now is mediocre, right? And saying that, oh, well, it wasn't like when we played. And first Alex Smith said, well, you just won a Super Bowl in this year, so does that one not count for as much? And then on top of that, like your division was basically garbage the whole time you were there, which is funny because Rex Ryan coached 2 of those teams.
Right.
Yeah.
So he's just – and it was one of those things. He's like, oh, yeah, no offense, right? Like
Pats them both
Caddyshack.
on the
Oh, no,
arms.
but it looks good on
hey,
you.
Hey.
Like –
One of those instances where like, hey, no offense, but, and then you just kind of slap him in the face verbally.
I mean, if you want to sit there and you want to talk smack on all the players that are putting their bodies on the line every day now, saying, "Oh, this is mediocre," and I mean, I thought it was pretty apropos of him to come out and say, "Well, okay, if we're going to talk, let's talk. Let's be real. You're going to be real. Let's be real. Like you guys had a trash division and you had 6 freebie games basically for most of those years." And when there was a team that was good in your division, the Jets, they beat you in the postseason. So, yeah, I thought it was great, man. I love Alex Smith.
Yeah. No, yeah, I completely agree. And I don't think he was wrong. I think he was completely right. I remember that being like my biggest gripe. Like, man, I wish we could play the Bills back then every year, get 2 free wins, like cakewalk to your division title kind of thing. No, I thought it was great too. Immediately started laughing. I just thought, to Nick's point about Brady saying that stuff, I just thought it was kind of funny that in the same breath, Brady will mention that Mahomes is the best quarterback that he's ever seen aside from himself. He won't say that, but like he's like, this new era of Brady is like the best quarterback. But then also say shit like, oh, the game's mediocre today. I don't think you can have it both ways, and I don't really think he thought that one through. So I think it was kind of deserved for somebody to put a little check on him. I mean, he's surrounded by so many yes men. I don't really think he thought about what he was saying on TV when he was calling out today's NFL.
It's just that whole mindset of, oh, well, back in the day, we used to walk to school uphill both ways in the snow and 95-degree weather, right? That whole thing. That division was garbage. They capitalized on it, so kudos to them. Alex Smith didn't bring up the cheating or any of the scandals either that helped them a lot of those years. So, yeah, Alex Smith, he's the man. He's the man. He's a Ring of Honor dude, right? I mean, got to be at some point in the Chiefs Ring of Honor, Chiefs Hall of Famer, no doubt about it. It's too bad he really never had a defense good enough. He was, and Alex would tell you this too, that he was never quite the quarterback that Patrick Mahomes is. But Alex Smith was a good enough quarterback to win a Super Bowl. They just never were able to really put together a strong enough defense for him. Patrick Mahomes was able to overcome some mediocre to bad defenses that Alex couldn't, but that guy is one of the top. I mean, you go Len Dawson, Patrick Mahomes, Alex Smith,
Trent Green,
Joe Montana, even though he's only here for a year, right? So
right.
Top 5. But yeah, Alex Smith, hell of a player, hell of a guy. What he went through too after he left to have that injury and just the hell that he went through with the surgeries and the recovery to actually get back out there and play on NFL field. A lot of respect for Alex Smith from me, and I'm sure all of Chiefs Kingdom, most of the people in the chat there. Speaking of the chat, it looks like we got a bunch of our regulars in here. Looks like we got Laney. Looks like we got Brenda. I think I saw Shippy in there. Kevin. We got
what's up, everybody?
John K in the house. Good to see you, John. Our man, One Man Show. Good to see you. Yeah, Alex Smith, definitely a class act. 1,000,000%. So.
Oh yeah,
he was one of the first quarterbacks I remember, and just in my lifetime, like giving the team hope. Like, oh, dude, this is a playoff contending team, and you won a playoff game, and you're just like, oh, we got something here, guys. Then
smoked the Texans in that first playoff win, and however many years it had been.
It was a shutout, right?
Yeah, it was
30-0.
Yep. So kudos to Alex for blasting and checking Brady and the Patriots there a little bit. We always like to see that. A little bit of other Chiefs news. Looks like Nick Bolton returned to practice.
Yeah, buddy.
See how quickly he can get back on the field. I know a lot of people in the chat, and I know you, Bo. Not that I'm not, or not that Nick's not, are big Nick Bolton fans. I'm not sure how soon he gets back. What do we think Drew Tranquill stepping in, or we've been calling him AAA on this show, to the rescue, right, when Nick Bolton hasn't been able to go? The guys come in and just balled and played outstanding. What do we think that means when it comes time to pay Nick Bolton big-time money?
Ooh,
do we think that's someone you want to tie up a ton of cap space in? Or does a guy like Drew Tranquill come in, and he's a guy that we brought in off the street? Not that you can go in and just bring in a guy necessarily his caliber every year off the street. But I don't want to say it's almost like Nick Bolton they haven't missed a beat, but the defense has still been damn good when Nick Bolton has been out there.
Yeah.
Drew Tranquill playing some of the best ball of his career. Bo, what do you think that says or does when it comes time to pony up and pay Nick Bolton? You think that hurts him at all?
Yeah. That's an interesting question, man. On the surface, it's kind of like, oh, look, you can kind of throw anybody in there, right? I think we just got super fortunate in getting an absolute stud in that position. And on top of it, we just have a killer defense this year. So it helps when, all the guys around you are playing that well. It helps you bring your game up that much. But no, I mean, I think you can see the impact both those guys have versus any of the other linebackers we have. Those guys they're definitely standouts in their position. We're not talking about anybody else, and I believe we have 5. So, I think it's one of those things as far as like dedicating a lot of cap space to them. I mean, I don't know how much linebackers command as far as cap space, but definitely want to try to keep those 2 guys around as long as possible. I mean, we were kind of talking in our chat a little bit about like what does it mean when he comes back, just player like position wise, like where does Nick Bolton go? What does he do? Who takes the lead? And I think those are good problems to have. I think he comes back and both those guys are in the game, like let's go.
Right.
But yeah, you just try to make it happen. I mean, this is a team, luckily, with the talent and even the management we have, that we've seen really good players leave because of money, and if that's the case, these players want to take. I mean, it sucks, but I think we try our hardest to keep them around, though.
Yeah, Nick.
Well, I just looked it up. Do you know Nick Bolton's only 23 years old?
Yeah, super young, right?
Yeah, so I mean, you're on one end, you're looking at a guy that his prime years are still ahead of him. He's Drew Tranquill's 28, so it just depends on what the number is. Like, here's the deal: if like you could only pay to keep Snead or Bolton, I would say that it's a lot harder to find a L'Jarius Snead than it is to find a serviceable replacement for a Nick Bolton. I mean, he's a tackle machine. I love the dude, but I think cornerback is just a much harder position to play in the NFL, and I think you can find some guys that will not be as good as Nick Bolton, but probably be good enough, right, to win with, as opposed to, I mean, you look at what has happened this year. Like, talk about a gauntlet, right? We've gone through Tyreek Hill, Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams, right? Like, we're going to have Stephon Diggs coming up. Like, none of them have had a huge game. A.J. Brown, right? I mean, like, none of them had a huge game against
8 yards.
So,
Yeah,
I mean, so to me, that's where you have to go with the money if you have to pick. Now, should they sign Nick Bolton? Yeah, they should do everything they can to make it work, because he's a great player. He's a great team dude. He's, like I said, he gets so many tackles. But I just think that, like, the position just doesn't necessitate spending as much money as getting a good quality shutdown corner does. So
I think it's just, when it comes time to get Nick Bolton extension, I think it's just, you pay him, but you don't have to overpay him, right?
Right.
Yeah.
You can probably find a guy that can come in, maybe not be quite as good as Nick Bolton, but if you can go find another guy that's close to Drew Tranquill, the linebacker position in the NFL, it's just one of those, like, seems like it's falling down the priority list, especially for teams like
Right.
defensive linemen, guys that can rush the passer and get to the quarterback, and secondary guys that can lock down. It's a passing league more so than it is a running league, which I know a lot of times you hear about these really good linebackers or run stuffers. Not to say that you can't have a running back guy like Patrick Queen or somebody on the Ravens can rush the passer and kind of play like a hybrid defensive end, like even going back to old Derek Thomas was a linebacker. He wasn't a defensive lineman.
Right.
So,
Right.
but yeah, so I just think it means when it comes time to pay Nick Bolton, or if you've got to maybe pay some other guys more, then I think that's just where the money goes. You allocate it to a position that's maybe a little bit more important or a little bit harder to find. And I would love to see Nick Bolton back. Don't get me wrong. I don't want it taken like that. Oh, he's not that important. We don't need to keep him.
Right.
I just don't feel like you're going to have to overpay for him. Drew Tranquill has come in and played well. He's on a one-year deal. Who knows if he comes back next year. But Chiefs got some time to figure that out, too, because Nick Bolton is not a free agent until after next season. So,
Who would you overpay for right now at this point?
it's so hard. I want to say Chris Jones, but he's getting to that age where I'm not saying he's over the hill, but he's going to start slowing down sooner rather than later. I'd pay L'Jarius Sneed a lot of money. You've got Trent McDuffie for another couple of years on a rookie deal. You could pay L'Jarius Sneed a good chunk of money here in the next couple of 2-3 years. You got that tandem at cornerback locked in. You could even maybe front load the L'Jarius Sneed thing to where you're not paying him as much when it comes time to pay Trent McDuffie. Work that out. But, I mean, we'll get to this when we talk about the Raiders. Devontae Adams had about as good a game as any of these other number one receivers have had, but he didn't crack 100.
Right. Didn't break
brought
us.
You brought up A.J. Brown. He was on pace. He was on pace to have 2,000 yards receiving this year, and the guy had 8 yards.
Yeah. He was on like
That's
some
insane,
streak
dude.
of like 8 games with 100+ receiving yards, right? And a touchdown.
125 plus receiving yards.
Yeah, something ridiculous.
Got
and
8.
Just
Oh.
shut down.
Right. Justin Jefferson, they locked him down. He missed part of the fourth quarter, but he played most of the game. Didn't hurt the Chiefs. Held him in check. L'Jarius Sneed, like you hear that a lot of people say, like he's a dog, right? Dude, L'Jarius Sneed's a dog, and he gets penalties. And did you see when they asked him about the penalties? And he was like, "That's just
In
kind
this
of
in this last game?
business." What's that?
In this last game against the Raiders?
Yeah, they talked to him about he's the most penalized or second most penalized player in the league. And he goes, that's just kind of the cost of doing business. I'm going to get physical, and I'm going to get in guys. I'm going to let them know I'm there, and it's going to be a long day. And so, like that attitude, go
Yeah,
along with the skill
like it.
set to be able to. He's been traveling, which some Spags hasn't even done. And
Yeah.
naturally, as a coordinator, just speaks to even more how just badass of a player Jerry Sneed is.
You said he's the second most penalized player in the NFL. Was he number 2 to Jawan Taylor? Do we
Right.
have the
Yeah.
number 1 and the number 2 most penalized players?
I think
in the
maybe he was
NFL?
number 3, but yeah, we've got 2 of the top 3 for sure.
It's all
Well,
those
unless it
clowns on the
changed over the
internet saying
weekend.
The Chiefs get all the calls, man.
Right. Hashtag Chiefs get all the calls, right?
Right,
No.
exactly.
Unless it's changed. The graphic they threw up during the Raiders game showed that Juwan Taylor was number 1 and L'Jarius Sneed was number 2. Penalties.
Yeah, maybe
again.
that's right.
Taylor had 14, I want to say,
Yeah, I
and
think that's right.
Sneed had 9 or 10. So you'll take it. Look, man, I'll take a penalty or two. I'll take a 10 or 15-yard penalty here and there if you're going to hold A.J. Brown to 8 yards. If you're going to hold Justin Jefferson to what did Justin Jefferson have? 30 yards? They
Yeah,
held
30
Tyreek
or
Hill to
40
like 60
something.
There's
Yeah.
him and Tyree Kill's yardage put together was less than 100 yards.
Yeah. Tyreek only got like 64 or something like that, right? 63?
Yeah.
Something.
Yeah, it was not very much. Tyreek Hill and A.J. Brown were both pacing. They were on a clip to get 2,000 yards receiving, and Chiefs shut him down. Didn't hurt him. Kept him out of the
Yeah,
end zone, too. Not
those
only shut him down,
DBs
kept him
are-
out of the end zone. So, I worry about Snead because the Chiefs have not shown the propensity to pay corners.
Yeah,
last
we
few
seem to like
years.
just try to feel like we can cycle them out, right?
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
name
Travarius
your
Ward.
guy.
Right,
Thornhill.
Travarius Ward. I'm struggling to think of the guy's name before Ward. They kind of let walk. So
Flowers. There's Brandon Flowers.
Brandon
there's,
Flowers.
I don't know,
uh,
real
Brandon
quick before we
Carr?
get to this Raiders game, do you guys think they pay L'Jarius Sneed? Bo?
I mean, the defense and the dude, our secondary is proven their worth this year, man. I mean, our defense just looks so good. It's like how do you not keep that defense? I know the big elephant in the room all season long has been like, well, our offense is slacking, so we kind of need to do that. I mean, we're sitting at 8-3, and our offense is slacking, and we have the best, like one of the best, if not the best, defense in the NFL. Like, I'm kind of okay with that. I really feel like our shortcomings on offense are easily overcome by practice and just focus, man. Like we've harped on it all like the past couple of weeks, dude. It's a couple things. Penalties, right? Those are just killing us, and I feel like we really kind of we didn't eliminate them, but like we really minimized like the game momentum killing penalties in the Raiders game. Drop passes. I mean, I know we still had a couple, but those are starting. You can see the guys are really starting to like try to minimize that. I think, yeah, everything's in place that like our defense, like how can you not pay the defense right now? They're doing so well. I think you do. Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like our friend John C. showing up in the chat. And Maria, what's up? Good to see you all. Thanks for swinging by. Appreciate it. Good to have you. Nick, you think the Chiefs pay and keep L'Jarius Sneed, or do they let him go?
Just depends on how much he's asking for, but you gotta think probably
It's gonna be a
not.
lot.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot. You gotta think probably not,
Top
right?
five.
I mean, look, we've got the highest paid quarterback in the league now. That's over $50 million going to Mahomes.
I don't think that clicks in all the other players' brains though, man. I think they know, but I don't think it like.
Yeah, well, not just the highest paid player in the league, the highest paid player in the history of the league. So you've got that to contend with. You've got the Chris Jones contract. You know, do we have to pay? Is Creed's contract coming up too around the same time? Maybe a year
there's
after.
a lot of guys coming up because they
Yeah,
could.
so
That's the problem.
I just don't know that you can afford to pay top cornerback money. I mean,
Right.
should we? Probably. I mean, if you look, like the AFC is stacked at wide receiver, and it's a huge help to have somebody that can say, okay, we're going to take out their number one guy. But
Doing man to man, yeah.
it's just it's a luxury, and where does the money come from, right? Where are you going to cut? Like, who are you going to let go? Maybe if it's, you know, in a couple of years and you think like, how many more years is Travis Kelce going to be on the team? His salary goes down. You may have like a rookie type tight end deal coming in. You may be able to swing it, but I don't know, man. I just don't see it happening.
Well, especially if you think about if they're going to want to add a receiver, if they can't add a top shelf wide receiver in the draft, maybe they have to pay a free agent or somebody to come in. A lot of tough decisions to make. I was going to say, you know, the bad side of absolutely nailing a draft or two in a row, kind of like the Chiefs did, is you have a lot of really good guys all coming up wanting to get paid at the same time.
Right.
And it's tough to do. You got to have that mix of younger guys on rookie deals and the veteran guys making the big money. Want to get to this Raiders game here real quick, but just real quick, off the top of your head, would you rather have Chris Jones or L'Jarius Sneed back next year? Bo?
Yes. God damn, that's a tough would you rather. I
I'd
mean,
be interested to see what the chat says too. Who all y'all, everybody in the chat there, would you keep Jones or Sneed if you had to pick one or two?
if I had to pick, like gun to my head, I'd honestly leaning Chris Jones. I don't know. There's something about
same.
his presence on the field, his ability to rush the quarterback, affect timing, throws. I think he has the most batted balls this season. If not, he's up there.
Right.
He's just a game changer, and that's not discrediting Sneed at all by any means, right? Like, God, it's such a tough decision, but I mean, that's just kind of my gut instinct, just thinking like, I mean, we just kind of discussed like our past of just cycling out DBs, right? So
Yeah.
like I feel like that's kind of like the mentality here, and so it's like when you see a game changer like Jones, he's a once in a lifetime player kind of thing, right? Like when we have him, we have him, Kelsey, and Mahomes on the same team. Like, let's go with that.
Yeah, man, it's tough. I mean, for 1 year, next year, probably Chris Jones, but I think I'd probably pay Snead before I'd pay Jones just because of the age.
Sure.
This would be Chris Jones going into his 30s
investment?
on his third contract. With Jerry Snead, this would be his second contract going into his prime. So I would probably lean signing Snead over Jones myself. And you guys
I just
know
think
how
that with Chris,
you guys know how much I love Chris Jones. So
yeah, I just think
I don't think it's a knock on any of the other guys. Sorry, Nick.
with Chris Jones, you've got like you don't really have like a good hey, we got a guy to replace him with, and you could draft a cornerback that you think is going to be good, and then you've got Trent McDuffie that is developing and could be the guy that you switch over to put on the ones. That's the reason I would say Chris Jones, but yeah, it's a tough decision, right? I mean, because you got longer term, right? Snead has more years ahead of him than Chris Jones does. And he's probably not going to be asking for as much money per year as Chris Jones is. So,
right.
Ooh, Brenda bringing up.
Brenda bringing up a point about Karlaftis. Yeah, Karlaftis plays a different position. Obviously, he plays on the end there. Chris Jones plays in the middle. You wonder how much of Karlaftis' success is because Chris Jones is drawing a lot of attention on that defensive line. But yeah, no, it's good problems to have when you're trying to decide on how are we going to afford to keep all these badass players.
How do we get to keep everybody?
You're in a good spot. So
that's a great spot to be in.
Let's get to this Raiders game. Let's talk about the win in Las Vegas against the Raiders, 31-14. Kudos, by the way, to our man Mark on X.
Oh, nailed it.
We put out another reason. If you're not following us on X, you should be. Put out a kind of like a flash contest. So we're going to hook up somebody who can get the score the closest in this Chiefs-Raiders game. We put it out there the morning, Sunday morning, there a few hours before the game. And Mark nailed it. Perfect. 31-14.
Get a sticker, Mark.
Yeah, we got a couple of things we're gonna hook Mark up with. So Raiders game.
Let's talk about this game.
How are we feeling at the end of the first quarter when it was 14-0? Bo?
I was a sad panda. I'm not gonna
Still
lie.
optimistic? Man. I mean, were you?
Well, it's one of those games. I was with people, right, and like so you have to like be really reserved, but everybody could tell I was in a pretty bad mood, right? Like trying to like make dad jokes, get me to crack a smile, like, "Hey, smile, man, it's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right." And like I have to tell myself that sometimes, like, "Hey, man, we got 15. We got Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
Everything's gonna be okay. We've been in this position before, and we have our defense this year, so let's go with it." But yeah, at that first quarter, man, it was not going well. Like everything just did not seem to be working at all. Everything from the defense and offense, special teams looked a little shady. Just just kind of like the way things were rolling, kind of like all season. Just like, what is going on with these guys? Not feeling too great after that first quarter. What about you, Nick?
You ever read that book, Things Fall Apart?
That's what it felt like.
That's kind of where I was at mentally. I was just like, how are we this bad as a team? So I was not hopeful, man. It did not look good. It didn't look like the offense had really made any changes. I mean, the defense looked like it was, finally getting got, which, we've all kind of, been super stoked about how they've done this year, but we all like, I don't know. It's just, there's a lot of bad memories of the Chiefs defense, like, in seasons past, looking really good and then starting to fall apart as the season went on. So yeah, not great. I mean, I didn't like lose all hope, I guess, but it was, I was not optimistic. Like, I mean, my wife was like, all right, I got to quit watching. Right. And just got up and walked out of the room. That's how bad it was. She was just like, I just can't watch this. I'm not going to sit there and watch
the Waterboy meme through.
Raiders.
Sorry, dude. I didn't mean to jump on you.
Oh,
there.
no, go ahead. I'm done.
I remember sending the Waterboy meme through like, oh no, we suck again. Like,
Yeah.
what is going on? Like that's how I felt.
Yeah, look, it's one of those deals where it's the NFL, and even the best defenses have games where things don't go their way or they give up a big play and whatnot. I mean, perfect example was that Ravens Browns game from a couple weeks ago where they were the number 2 and 3 or 1 and 2, whatever it was, ranked defenses in the NFL,
Yeah.
and both got lit each other up, and the game was like 31-28 or something like that. So,
Oh yeah.
that I was just kind of shocked at how well that Aiden O'Connell, that rookie quarterback, was playing against our defense. He was hitting guys.
Dude.
Devontae Adams was getting the better of L'Jarius Sneed there to start the game. They were missing tackles. They were having guys running wide open in the secondary. They were everything that they had not done all season on defense. They were doing in that first quarter against the Raiders.
Yeah.
And the offense was not giving them any help. They were getting in there 3 and outs, dropped passes, uninspired, short, unimaginative play calling. We're refusing to run the ball for some reason, even though the Raiders had the worst, or I was like one of the worst run defenses in the NFL going into that game. But I still thought it was the Raiders. And when they were up, were they up? I can't remember. Was it 7-0 or 14-0? It was 7-0, right? And they went to kick the field goal, I think it was, or was it 14-0?
Oh, and they missed.
And it's 4th and 1, and they'd seemed like getting 15 or 20 yards of play on those first couple of drives. And then they decided to kick the field goal. And I was like, why would you decide to kick a field goal here? And then the guy missed the field goal. And at that point, you're just saying, well, the Raiders just Raidered, and Chiefs are going to get right back in this game. And it happened, right? I mean, Chiefs get the ball, start moving it down the field. So, yeah, I was a little worried, but at the same time, I was thinking, the defenses, I wasn't expecting them to play like that the whole game.
There wasn't any sign that first quarter that they were about to turn that around, though. I mean, dude, their run defense looked so pitiful.
Right.
Like, they were busting off 7-8 yard runs at will, and then they busted one, what was it, 30, 40 yards, like 39 yards for a touchdown or something like that? Like,
it was like 67 yards, I think. It was over 50 for the touchdown. It was a long run.
It was a long run, man. It looked like Swiss cheese, just holes you could drive trucks through. Just not good.
I was playing against Josh Jacobs in fantasy, so that's how I know that it was.
That's how I know it was more than a 40 yard
15-point play on you. Those always hurt. Still able to
You'll remember those.
because that's about all that guy's got. But
no, I think it was right around that field goal, though, that you're talking about where they missed. That they missed, and they were kind of coming back from break, and they were talking about one of the Raiders players had just gotten in some legal trouble. He got in trouble with the law, right? And it made me think of Nick's little Raider cycle meme. I'm like, oh, there it is. There it is. The player got arrested. Raiders gonna Raider, and felt okay when all was right in the world.
Right. Then they cut that guy after the game.
Yeah.
We're gonna let you play this game, but then we're gonna cut you afterwards because we probably didn't have enough time to find someone to replace him. But I wasn't feeling good, obviously, but I don't think I was in full-blown panic mode. Especially like X was. People on there were like, this is going to be a long off season. Chiefs got a lot of answers and all this stuff. I think someone sent a post or reply to us that said, the offense and defense have both been getting worse this year as the season goes on. And I was like, I don't think I'm going to say the defense is getting worse just because they had
no way.
It was really a bad drive and a long run because it wasn't like that second drive where they got the long touchdown or the third drive. That wasn't a long sustained drive where they just kept getting burned over and over and over like that opening drive. So defense stiffened up. Drew Tranquill, who we just talked about a little bit ago, had himself a hell of a game.
Oh yeah.
He was almost like willing the Chiefs defense to turn it around and get stops. I mean, the guy was making plays in the backfield. He was out in coverage, breaking up passes. The dude was balling out. How are you feeling after the missed field goal and the Chiefs get the ball and they go down and score a touchdown, Bo? A lot better, a little better,
dude,
or still
a lot better. That drive had so many like definitive moments in it, right? Like first of all, our receivers caught the ball. They had some really good sure-handed catches where like they had to make it with their hands. They couldn't catch it with their body and hope it bobbles around. I mean, they had to grab it down, out of bounds, right? And shout out to my man Jay Watt, dude. That guy still the most consistent receiver we have on the squad so far. Although Rashee Rice has given him a little run for his money.
Right.
No, it felt. I mean, like I said, after that field goal, and then we marched down and score. It just kind of felt like, oh yeah, we don't. This isn't the Chiefs' past. We have Patrick Mahomes. This is the new Chiefs. This is the Chiefs that we're now love and we've come to expect. Right? You could just see,
Definitely.
as Doug was talking about, they came out with no intensity, zero energy. After that field goal, like you could just see a change. Like you're talking about Drew Tranquil willing the defense to like. I don't know. They just started running around flying. But then, when the offense came out, I mean, take the whole field and, pretty much just score at will. I mean, it didn't look like they had a plan to stop us whatsoever. Looked great. I wasn't feeling too bad after that first touchdown. How about you, Nick? How did your feelings
It was
change?
right after that pass to Kelsey that everybody has been reposting where I was just like, okay, I think we're back.
Yeah.
I mean, it just had that feeling of where before those passes were just a tick off or somebody dropped them. It just felt like they were in a funk, like in a funk. And
Right.
I at no point, I want to be clear, I hadn't given up hope on the whole season. Like the Chiefs were 6-4 and everybody thought they were dead, and then they didn't lose again and they won the Super Bowl, right? So there's just so much season left that they're giving up on the team at this point in the season is dumb. But I mean, I thought hope for the game was waning just because we hadn't been able to score. I mean, I was just sitting there thinking 14 points seems a lot more insurmountable now than it has in seasons past. But as soon as that drive, but that pass to Kelsey specifically, it was just like
The
that
double flea flicker.
No, it was the one that was like right over the shoulder over the defenders.
Oh,
I think
the little drop in the
just,
bucket. Yeah.
just dropping the bucket. I mean, just a perfect throw, and it just was like, okay, like we got 15-87 going. It just felt like it was like that was the get right moment to me. After that, I was like, okay, like let's see what we can do. And defense gave up 3 points the rest of the way, man. I mean, the Chiefs rolled. So,
yeah, I saw someone said that Patrick Mahomes' confidence back with that throw, and I was like, Patrick Mahomes ain't never lost his confidence. I guarantee you that.
Dude, you don't lose confidence when you're hitting players in the face mask and the hands, right?
Right.
Like your confidence is there.
Yeah,
It's not on you.
It seemed like it gave him a little bit of a spark, but they started to move the ball. Offense comes alive, scored touchdowns on 3 straight possessions to take control of the game. When we went into halftime and it was 14-14, tied, I was like, oh, yeah, Chiefs are winning this game. Like
Get the ball back. Yeah.
Defense had turned it around. Offense was humming, was moving the ball. So that was good to see. Speaking of the offense, I was a week early on my Rashee Rice 100-yard game prediction. I predicted it against the Eagles. I was just a little bit premature there, but Rashee Rice and drop there that killed a drive, and you're just,
I knew you were gonna bring it up. He had one.
God, it was just killer, man.
He made up for it though, right? Or no?
don't say that to Scott.
I know, right?
He
He
make
looked
up
at me
for the
like,
drop. It's not like they go back and you get to start that drive over again, and they give you the catch and the yards. But he then turns around and has the long touchdown catch and run. He also had a sweet, like, pirouetting, spinning catch on the sideline later in the game.
Back shoulder
And I'm
grab.
thinking,
That
dude,
was
how do you make that catch? But then the one he dropped was an easy catch, man. Like, he wasn't covered. The ball hit him right in the breadbasket, right there in the hands.
Dude, that's the
what's up,
nature of the
JT?
game
Good to
sometimes,
see you,
dude.
bro.
I've seen so many guys drop wide open passes, whether it's
Yeah.
like they lose
Then make the
focus or they
circuit
start to
track.
turn up field, like
Dwayne
they
Bowe, man. He's
something
Dwayne Bowe.
happens, dude.
Dwayne
Yeah.
Bowe
Yeah,
would do the exact
exactly.
same shit, dude. Like, just make
Yeah.
amazing catches and then just drop the routine stuff.
But you know what I liked? He did have the one drop, but true to Andy Reid form, goes right back to him, right, to like bring his confidence back up. And the
Right.
dude, he does his job. He catches the ball, and look at the game he has, dude. he doesn't run backwards when he catches it. He just catches it, runs forward, or he catches it, goes out of bounds, or goes down. Like, that's all you got to do. I'm tired of these players going backwards with the ball, first of all. But I heard your voice in my head when he dropped that ball, though, going like, oh no, Scott's gonna ream on him for this one. But I feel like, dude, that's just
I
gonna
might have
happen.
told my uncle, who I was watching the game with, they just need to bench him, which probably would have been a mistake because he made the big long touchdown catch after that. But looks like our man JT's showing up. Good to see you, JT.
JT, are you happy about your coach getting fired there, bud?
Yeah, I don't know what JT thinks about that, but to reply to JT's post, if you win the Harrison Butker jersey, JT, you can wear whatever you want with the jersey, and we'll leave it at that. So,
If you know, you know.
what do
You
we
know,
think
you know.
about Rashee Rice? Is that the game? Is he the number one guy now? Is Patrick going to start feeding him the ball? Or do we think maybe he's going to be a little up and down? Because, like I said, he still had 2 drops in that game. One was a low pass, but I still felt that was a catch an NFL receiver should make. It was kind of down by the shins, down the knees. It was low. It was not a great pass, but got both hands on it. I felt he should have caught it. Yeah, JT, you're right. Harrison Butker, former Panther, poached him off the practice squad. So,
Yeah, but
Bo, what do you think? Rashee Rice, does he take off from here? Is this just one big game and he's a rookie that's going to have his ups and downs? What do you think you're going to see out of him?
dude, I like to think that like this is the start of something amazing, right? I mean, you and I have been calling him and Ross, who, fingers crossed on that whole situation. We'll get more on that later, but we're looking for that little R&R connection. We've been big on the guy since we got him. Like, super stoked that we even got him. I mean, I think he was kind of a steal, kind of where we got him in the draft. Dude, I mean, what I really liked about his game, his performance, and what he did this game moving forward is he's taking the focus off of Travis Kelce. I feel like guys are going to have to be like, oh, we have to account for this guy now. Maybe you can't triple team Travis Kelce all game, right? Gives Patrick Mahomes another option for a sure-handed receiver other than J. Watt or Kelce, right? So, I mean, it's just, I think it's all good moving forward. I would love to see this guy take off and be a true number one receiver, a true threat, like a Jetty or something. I mean, he has Tyreek Hill numbers for his rookie year. I don't know if you guys have seen some of his yards and touchdowns and everything and attempts. Like, he's right there with Tyreek Hill as far as numbers go. I mean, obviously he doesn't have that speed, but he could be a guy, man. He has all the potential, and he has great flashes. Like, he could be the guy. So, I mean, fingers crossed that he is. I'm not going to go ahead and say he is right now, but I would like to see that.
Tyreek Hill was also a running back that was learning to play wide receiver his rookie year.
Sure.
A little bit different situation, but promising numbers, a promising game for sure. Nick, what do you think about Rashee Rice moving forward the rest of the year?
So last year we were all sitting there seeing what Isaiah Pacheco was doing for the first several games and wondering why Clyde Edwards-Helaire was still getting the number 1 carries, right?
Yeah.
And then you got to about this point in the season, you saw him take over, and kind of the rest is history there. Super Bowl win, had a huge role in that Super Bowl, playing injured too. And I feel like that's what we're seeing with Rashee Rice right now, where
Let's go.
like he's getting to the point where he's going to start getting those reps as long as the guy's amazing with the ball in his hands. Not only is he shown to be elusive, but man, he just runs right through people, dude. It's awesome to watch. So
Yeah.
I think we're seeing. I mean, I'm not going to say he's going to be like a true number 1 receiver getting 1,500 yards a year or anything, but do we need that on the team, like as a wide receiver? I mean, it'd be nice. It'd be nice. I mean, I wouldn't say no, but like he's going to be the guy that we need. And the question is, like, is he going to catch the ball in those crucial moments when we need him to? That's the open question, right?
Yep.
When the game is on the line, when the chips are down, and we got to have the play, is he going to be the dude that can do the Tyreek Hill Bills 13-second game touchdown to tie it up?
Yeah.
Is he, or is he going to be, Dwayne Bowe, dropping the ball in the end zone right against the Patriots. Like it was game 1 of the season. But I mean, those are the questions that I have open. But yeah, I mean, I think you're going to see him emerge as the guy that's going to get a lot of targets. I think he had 10 targets in this game, and he caught 8 passes. So, and the other 2 that he didn't catch, like hit him in the hands. So, I mean, Patrick obviously likes throwing the ball to him. So let's see where it takes us, man.
Yeah. I think you see him kind of gradually progress from here. I think he's going to be Patrick's number 1 option moving forward. He's the most like physically talented. When they hear people say like they're a guy's ceiling or his upside, he's got the most upside and potential of any receiver on the team. Now, whether or not he maximizes that, it's going to come down to his reliability. Can you count on him, like you said, especially in the big moments to catch the ball? Because yards after catch requires the catch. And you'd like to think right now the guy would probably be on pace for over 1,000 yards if he didn't have the drops that he had, right? He's probably got at least 100 yards in drops over the course of the season. He has 1 every game, it feels like, if not 2. So, but I feel like you're going to see Patrick's probably going to be peppering him. If you play fantasy football, might be a little bit too late. There might have been a good waiver wire suggestion Monday after – because the waivers go through Tuesday.
Last week, it's not a bad.
I could see him being like a Jerick McKinnon like guy the last 6 or 8 games of the season coming down the stretch here, and be like a league winner. And so I can't imagine he's available on very many leagues today. Probably yesterday was probably the time to give that advice. But if Rashee Rice is still available and you're playing fantasy football, go get him right now before somebody else does. And I think you're going to be happy you did. The guy doesn't have to come out and have 150 yards and 2 touchdowns every game. If he can you can count on him for a good solid 7, 8 catches a game for that 80, 90, 100 yards and a touchdown here or there. That's going to do worlds of wonder for guys like Travis Kelce, drawing attention. You're not going to see these double and triple teams that he's getting. It's going to force teams out of the box, which is going to open things up for Pacheco. Disappointing to see McKinnon out with an injury, especially since it feels like maybe the Chiefs were holding him back so he would be fresh for the end of the year.
He's been injured all year. He's had a groin injury all year.
He's out. So, yeah, I'm excited about Rashee Rice. It's just going to come down to the drops. And you got to make the catches. You got to make the ones that you have that you're supposed to make, and make most of the ones that maybe you're not supposed to make, the circus catches. So, JT asking about threats. Yeah, probably the Ravens right now. I don't know. Chiefs Dolphins was a close game. They beat the Dolphins, but it was close. Chiefs Jaguars. Jaguars just took down Houston, but. Yeah, probably Ravens. Although Lamar Jackson, crunch time shootout, I just don't see that. They've lost Mark Andrews.
He has such terrible November, December numbers.
Right.
I could expect if history's taught us anything, I would expect the Ravens to fall off rather abruptly.
I think they have a couple of really tough games to close out the year too.
Right. I was surprised.
Mark Andrews.
I was surprised to see how much their offense, how different it looked without Mark Andrews in that game against the Chargers. They're struggling to move the ball and score points without him. Could be a one-game thing. Maybe they work around it and figure it out. But, but right now I look at them and I'd probably say the Ravens or maybe just the Dolphins because of how explosive they are and the cheetah, And Raheem Mostert's a fucking good running back, man. That guy's good.
Yeah.
They've got explosive offense. Tyreek Hill saying they're better than
that Achane guy is supposed to be coming back either this week or next week too, and that's a deadly 1-2 running back combo.
Yeah, so I'd probably flip a coin between the Ravens and the Dolphins. I'm thinking about it, probably lean maybe a little bit more Dolphins just because I think they have more weapons on offense and could get in a track meet and score a lot of points and make it difficult, especially if the Chiefs' offense is in a little bit of a down year. So, what do you guys think? I mean, Ravens, Dolphins, Jags.
I'm not really worried about the Jags. I don't know. They're like that lackluster team. I mean, they're winning. They're doing great, but I don't know. They're just
Yeah.
The talk of what is it? Who is it's the Dolphins, right? Their talk is they can't beat teams under 5 or over 500, and teams under 500 they seem to throttle, right? And I kind of feel like that's the same thing with the Jags. You give them a team that's a contender, they seem to kind of choke. You give them a team that's just run of the mill, and they'll show them up. And I feel like they're just stuck right there on that plateau, and they can't seem to get above that. But I'd have to agree, the Dolphins, man, their explosiveness is unmatched, man. I mean, they have Tyreek the Cheetah. We all know his capability and how fast and how quickly he can change a game. But dude, Waddle and then that Wilson Jr. guy, Tua has been surprisingly amazing, accurate, quickest release in the NFL. So yeah, I'd have to lean Dolphins more so than Ravens, especially since they just lost Mark Andrews. He was such a crucial part of that offense. Like you said, it's fun. It's not funny. It's amazing to see how differently they operate without that guy.
He's their Travis Kelce, right? I mean, they've got some young recruits.
Exactly.
They got an older Odell Beckham Jr. They've got Zay Flowers. They've got some guys, Nelson Aguilar, that are, they're guys, especially Flowers is a younger dude. But, he was the engine that made the passing game go, no doubt. Nick, who's your biggest threat in AFC?
I mean, if they get their shit together, it's going to be the Bills. But are they going to get their shit together? I mean, I know that they're sitting at 500 right now, but there's 7 seeds. And does Josh Allen have as many playoff wins as everybody else in the AFC playoff race, not named Patrick Mahomes combined? Probably. So, I mean, I see if they figure it out and they start stringing together some wins, and they make the playoffs, they could be the team that nobody really wants to play. But I don't know. I mean, there's something off about them. So if they don't get their stuff together, I mean, I would say it's got to be probably the Ravens. I mean, they've got a coach that's won a Super Bowl. They've got a really solid defense, and we've been struggling on offense. So if we run into a really good defensive unit, and we go into, one of those games where we're only going to score 17 points, it's going to be, can we hold Lamar Jackson and that team to less than 17 points on defense, which we've paired up well against them in the past. So I still think we would win. I mean, look, this is shaping up to be one of the best paths to the Super Bowl that the Chiefs have had in a couple of years, So, I mean, if we play our cards right and we don't have any stupid losses, the Chiefs are going to be sitting with the 1 seed, and it's going to be kind of like when we had to go through the Texans and the Titans, right, to go to the Super Bowl. It's going to kind of be one of those years potentially where like we don't have like a huge set of competition. So
yeah. JT brings up a good point about their defense, too. Maybe their strength matches up better against our weakness than the Dolphins. The Dolphins have a weak defense, so maybe our offense can play better against them, and our defense, our strength matches up against their strength, which maybe neutralize that a little bit more. So I definitely think it's between them. I definitely think it's between the Dolphins or the Ravens. The Bills, to me, are just in turmoil. I don't think their coach is very good. They got infighting on that team. Their defense.
I've heard rumors that his job's on the chopping block.
Right. There's rumors. I mean, there's cracks in that foundation of that team. So, Josh Allen.
They're streaky. If they can they put together a string of good games, and then I don't know. I mean, it just what I'm saying is that if they're playing at the height of what they're able to play, then they're the team that poses the biggest threat to the Chiefs, I think. But they haven't been
in
this
at
year,
that 7 seed too. We'd play them, or I guess we'd have that bye week. But
they're the 10 seed right now, which doesn't exist, so I don't think I have to worry about them too much.
Yeah, I mean, Nick Wright says they have 0% chance of making it, so maybe they won't make it.
Low. I mean, I'd say they've got less than a 25% chance of making the playoffs right now.
Who has a better chance of making the playoffs, the Bills or the Broncos?
Well, the Broncos have the tiebreaker.
I'd say the Bills.
Yeah,
I say the Bills. I'm not buying the Broncos thing. The Bills did the same thing the Chiefs did against the Broncos, shot themselves in the foot over and over and over, and gave that game away.
Quite literally on the last play, right?
Right. I'm not buying in to all of a sudden Sean Payton and Russell Wilson have figured it out, and Russell Wilson's found the fountain of youth and is going to play like this. And they're picking off some of these wins against easy teams. And then, like I said, the Bills and the Chiefs they gave those games away. Chiefs had 5 turnovers in that game. Sky Moore dropped a touchdown pass. That Chiefs should have won that game. So some of those things really beat themselves. So,
You have the opinion that teams are just going into that game thinking it's an easy W, and it's a trap game essentially for all these teams losing to the Broncos.
yeah, that could be it. Yeah, that could be it. They played the Browns, they beat the Browns, who are a playoff team right now, but Browns don't have Deshaun Watson. They're playing with
they're playing on
call
one
the guy
leg,
no-name
man.
quarterback.
Yeah. PJ Walker, is that who their quarterback is?
No, it's somebody else. PJ Walker. They got
It's like Johnson or something, I think.
Like-
Or Browning.
something. One of those hyphenated last names.
Hugh
right?
Man, sir.
So, I'm
Oh, Browning's
Not worried about
Cincinnati.
the Broncos.
What am I thinking?
especially if we played the Broncos at home, because we're going to win the division and we'd be the higher seed in that game. I'm not too worried about that. So,
So wait, so you said Bills, Scott? You think the Bills have a better chance of making the playoffs?
yeah, then the Broncos. That was the question, right?
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. And Nick, did
Yeah,
you say the
Bills
Broncos?
for sure?
Well, all I said was that the Broncos have the tiebreaker. So if they finish with
They
the
do
same
have a tiebreaker
record,
over the Bills, but
they have
I
the
don't see it.
tiebreaker.
I don't
Yeah,
see
I-
the Broncos continuing this
Broncos-
winning streak. I don't think they're going to stretch it out.
Yeah,
and go
no, the
win
Broncos
9
winning
games in a
streak
row.
seems like fool's gold, but I think they do have a pretty easy schedule for the rest of the way. So,
When
but
you're playing last place schedule, that seems to happen. So, yeah. Before we get off this Raiders game,
Mhm.
4 straight for the Chiefs in Las Vegas against
AFC
the
West.
Raiders. Our CK, Bo, you want to search and bring the poll up? We'll talk about that for a second. But or if Nick's going to bring it up, I'm not sure where he just went. But
Did it
they
not
Bo had it.
come up? Wow,
did you see that? Like Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid are the winningest head coach quarterback combo in Allegiant Stadium out there in Las Vegas. It's fucking
Tied-
hilarious.
tied with all the Raiders
JT,
coaches, quarterback.
take her easy,
combo.
bro.
Yeah. Hey, man, be careful out there, JT. That's dangerous work, bro. So take care of yourself, man. Be safe. Appreciate you swinging by. This
Did you
week's
see
CKL
that?
poll.
Do I need to boost that up?
I don't know. I'm on my
Zoom.
phone, so it's a little bit hard. I'm not on a computer or a TV, so maybe folks at home can see it a little bit better depending on the device they're watching on. But Chiefs are 4-0, remain unbeaten at Allegiant Stadium in Las Vegas. How many wins before the streak comes to an end? How many straight games do we think the Chiefs win out there before they finally lose in that building? Options there are 4, which would mean they lose next year, obviously. 5, 6, 7 or more. I want to know what the chat has to say.
What did you vote, Scott? Did you vote? I know it's your poll, but did you vote on this? What did you vote for?
I voted 6.
6, 4, 5, 6, or 7? Why 6?
I don't know. 7 or more just felt like greedy. It's like
You don't think
Oh,
we're gonna
I
have
feel
16,
like that.
17 straight wins over the Raiders now?
yeah. And this is an easier streak to keep alive because you could technically lose to them
Yeah.
as long as you didn't
Lose
lose
at home.
in Vegas. Kevin votes for more.
Nice.
7 more. I was a little bit surprised that it wasn't a little bit closer. I thought maybe 5 and 6 would get a few more votes than it did. But yeah, I'm just going 6. I mean, beat them on the road 6 straight years in the NFL is a heck of an accomplishment, even if it's a crummy team like the Raiders.
Right.
Nick, what do you think?
Well, I'm a dumbass, and I read it, and I was like, all right, so if we win 4 more, that gives us 8 in a row. That's quite a bit. So I voted for 4, and then I saw that. Then I reread it, and I was like, oh, that means we lose next year. I'm an idiot.
Maybe I read it. Maybe I was a little confusing. You're the one person. You're the 5.6% or whatever that says.
Yeah, no, that's me being being a smart individual.
Dude, when I
So
saw a vote for 4, I was like, man, that's got to be a Raiders fan fucking trolling or something. But it was you.
oh yeah, no,
There's
that was
Nick
me.
trolling you.
Not trolling.
Funny as hell.
That was
Just,
like Rob McGillihaney's wife outbidding him on that Eagles
Oh, dude,
jacket.
that was
Did you
a
guys
great
see
story.
that?
Calling him a
Guys-
bozo was the best. So, yeah, look, probably 6 or 7. I mean, I don't foresee them putting anything together that is exemplary enough that we're going to lose to them next year. Right now, I mean, they're going to have a new head coach. They got to figure out their quarterback situation.
John Gruden's
we got-
about to take all their money. They're not going to have any money to build a new facility.
Yeah, so-
yeah, it could be.
So that leaves us with 6 or 7 plus. So yeah, look, I'll be with the majority here. 7 plus. It's the Raiders. Fuck the Raiders. We're gonna have Patrick Mahomes. So
Bo?
Dude,
I'll
if
be
we,
greedy. I'll be greedy. I don't mind.
if we win 6 more and not 7, it's because after that 6th victory, they went and searched for the flag underneath the stadium, and they dug that shit out that the construction worker buried there when the stadium was
Replace the
being built.
bleachers.
I should have that guy's name in my recall, but man, he is a true Chiefs Kingdom hero.
We should
I
try to
will-
get him on the show.
yeah,
That's a great
I'll figure
idea.
out his name,
We need to
but
get the dude on the show. Well, I'm going to work on that.
his hex worked, and like that's what I'm saying. That if we don't win more than that, it's because they dug up that flag. But no, I voted 7. For all the reasons we just said, that whole franchise is in such disarray. And I don't know if you've seen their owner. It's just a sign of things to come for that team. I mean, he just exudes nerddom. I don't even know how to put it, man. He just doesn't look like he has the best interest for a football team at heart. He just looks like he's playing with Monopoly money. But no, I voted 7. I think this streak's going to be alive as long as we have Mahomes, man. I think that's his rivalry in the AFC West is the Raiders, just because he was there for the victory lap thing and the logo game. He had that's a real bitter taste in the mouth for Mahomes. I think so. Yeah, I could see him just throttling.
Got the Max
Raiders every time.
Crosby. He's got the Max
Yeah.
Crosby, like,
I'm here.
villain hero kind
I'm
of
here.
thing going on there where those two are kind of always going at each other. So you know he's up for that game every week. I thought it was haphazard of the Raiders to play Max Crosby in that game. You could tell by watching him. He really had no business being out there. I know he got a sack, but that was on a play where he was kind of like standing there and Patrick Mahomes kind of like got flushed into him.
Yeah.
I thought that was
He was in the
negligent.
hospital for an infection.
What's that?
He was in the hospital that week for an infection.
Yeah, I just something
Oh,
like that.
damn.
Yeah. That's
So
doesn't seem.
no, probably not a good idea. To
You got
play
to
him.
protect
But-
people from themselves, I guess. But
Right. Raiders gonna Raider. Some point you got to
Yeah.
tell the guy, listen, man, you can't go. I know you want to play, but you can't go. Like you're the coach. So,
Arrowhead Midwest. We'll solve that for the chat right there. You're right. Arrowhead West is
Yeah.
San Diego. Arrowhead Midwest.
well, we're kind of Midwest, aren't we? I don't know what you call it.
Southwest? Arrowhead Southwest?
is that Southwest?
Vegas. Man, Vegas head don't sound right. I don't know. Let's think it's that. We'll have to come up with something for that. But
West by Midwest. Arrowhead West by Midwest.
right.
Pit stop?
Poll's still up. If you're following us on X, make sure you go vote on it. Let everybody know what you think. Run through next week. So you still got plenty of time to get out there and vote.
Yeah, thanks for everybody for participating in that. It's been fun
Yeah.
to watch all those numbers.
Big
come up.
Doug, no, we're not saying that we're saying that unless they dig it up or something, probably ain't
Yeah,
going
they're not
nowhere.
digging that thing up. Well, I don't know. They could, I guess. I don't know. I guess they get that ground penetrating radar and find out where it's at. It'd be a shitload of money, though. Like,
Hey, could
big
y'all quit
foundation.
mapping the Amazon right now and bring that so I can find this flag? And
Right.
Mark Davis,
Yeah.
hey, he evidently pays like $600 for that stupid haircut he's got. I guess he could
Right.
probably spend money on that.
Never underestimate the power of the internet, though, right? They found like Nintendo cartridges from 1972 buried in a
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
dump
Something.
here in New Mexico or in New Mexico. So they could probably find that flag.
Probably could. Chiefs move on from the victory against the Raiders. They play the Green Bay Packers Sunday Night Football on the frozen tundra. I think the frozen tundra thing's kind of dumb. I don't know. Like, there's lots of places that are cold. You're not
No
the
way,
only
not you, bro.
You're not the only fucking place where it gets cold. Okay, like it gets plenty cold here. I froze my ass off at Arrowhead plenty of times. Chicago Bears, Soldier Field gets fucking cold. They're the Windy City. So, but
Buffalo.
what do we think about this game against Green Bay? I'll be honest with you. I haven't watched 1 minute of a Green Bay Packers game this season. Jordan Love started rough for them in the Packers, but they've won 3 or 4 or 4 or 5 now. Took down the Lions on Thanksgiving. Dude, that Annie Agar, I don't know how she pronounces her last name. That post that she put out was like, love to see the Lions. Love to see the Lions honoring tradition here on Thanksgiving by losing at home, even though they're like a different team now, or they're actually good, but still losing on Thanksgiving. God dang, it was funny as hell.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Her TikToks she puts out are pretty funny.
Yeah, she's pretty good.
Chiefs are 6.5 or 7-point favorites, depending on what sports book, what line you're looking at right now for the gambling sites. Worried about it at all about this game? Do we think the Chiefs should probably win pretty easy? I think there's supposed to be snow, possibly in the forecast. It's a night game, so it's going to be colder.
Prime time, right?
Prime time. I gotta think Chiefs are tired of losing on prime time. I mean, they lost the 2 biggest games of the year, right? I mean, the Thursday night game against the Lions and then the Monday night game against the Eagles at home. I can't imagine Patrick Mahomes is too happy about losing in prime time like that. I really don't know what to think of this Green Bay Packers team. I don't know how dangerous they are. I really don't know if the Chiefs how worried we should be about this game. Either of you guys feel one way or the other about it, Bo?
Dude, the Packers to me kind of feel like the Jets, right? Like somehow they're getting teams like the Eagles. I mean, I'm talking about the Jets getting the Eagles, but like, the Packs getting the Lions. Like these teams are just kind of like anomalies, getting really good teams and then just like kind of getting handed to by some mediocre teams. They're like, that's what I feel the Packers are. And having seen Jordan Love in person play against the Chiefs, I just don't see him being that big of a threat. I mean, yeah, he might have clicked a couple games. It's the NFL. I mean, you're a professional quarterback. That's what you get paid to do. You should be doing it. You have a stud, like all-star team around you. I think the Packers should be way better than they are. But I'm with you. I haven't watched a ton of their games. I mean, I've watched a couple, like when they played the Bears and stuff, but they're just one of those teams that like it's hard to really put your thumb on like who they really are, because Jordan Love will have such a good game one day and then the next game not. And I don't know if that has to do with their offensive line or not. Again, I haven't watched too much, but what I've seen is like he just struggles a little bit and gets flushed out of the pocket really early. But that's good news for us because we have that defense that can do that. So not too worried about this defense. They don't really have too many weapons that I'm aware of until it probably happens on us. But no, not worried at all. What about you, Nick?
Yeah, I'm not scared of their offense, right? If you look at their offensive output versus the other units that we've already gone up against. I mean, you think they're gonna do better against us than Jalen Hurts and the Eagles? No. So yeah. So I mean, I really feel pretty confident in that. The question is, was this Raiders game, was that the turning point for the offense? Are they going to be right now going forward? Are they still going to be clicking? Or are we going to have a half a game of football where we don't put up any points, right? I tend to feel like the former. So I think that we're gonna have a good game. I think we're gonna go into Lambeau. I think we've got our heads right. I think that people feel, I don't know if Scott, I know you don't like to use the word confident, and I don't like to use it either, but I just feel like they're out of the funk, right? Like they feel like they're like whatever was kind of plaguing them that was kind of weird. They always kind of get to that point in the season where they kind of shed that and they start moving forward. And I feel like that's where we're at right now in this season. So I feel confident in this game. I mean, we're only going to have to score 20 points to win, right?
21, I think.
Yeah,
22.
in inclement weather, especially, I don't see the Packers scoring a lot of points. Jordan Love, last time I saw him play, looked awful. That was a couple of years ago. He's been playing better football over here, especially the last few weeks. But you just got to think that pass rush is going to be able to get to them and disrupt them. They don't have a lot of great game breakers. Aaron Jones is a decent running back. He's getting a little bit older, though. Christian Watson, to me, is a guy that he really fell off when Aaron Rodgers left that team. He's been good, but not great. So, I'm not really worried
Christian
about
Watson's
it.
like their biggest star, right? As far as like offensive threats, right?
Yeah, they got that guy Jaden Reed, who I keep an eye on for fantasy purposes, but he hasn't really stepped up and been all that great. They had Musgrave, the tight end, but he's out. He's on injured reserve, so they've been struggling to find someone at the tight end position. So, John, shutouts are so hard in the NFL, man. It's just so brutal to do, but I could see him holding them to under 10. Definitely. That is
I could see that. I could
possibility.
see 3 field goals.
Yeah, or 6 or something, or maybe 1 garbage time touchdown. Chiefs are up 24-0, or something going in there in the fourth quarter maybe. But
John C. saying, how about a shutout?
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's so tough to do though.
Yeah.
It's so tough to do that in our fantasy league. We award extra points if your defense.
Oh,
gets a
for
shutout.
sure. Yeah, no doubt.
Well,
yeah.
not only
Doesn't
that,
happen
but
very often.
Andy Reid's not like a keep piling it on offense. So if we start getting up big later in the game, we're just going to run the ball and punt. So they're going to get several more possessions, you know what I mean, than they would otherwise. That's what happened with the Bears game, right? I mean, we could have shut the Bears out if we really wanted to, but we kind of started playing just trying to run out the clock mode, and I don't know. So the Chiefs just don't seem like they prioritize trying to shut a team out, if that makes sense. Like they don't care about it as much.
Yeah.
Like I'm sure the
No, I know
defense
what you
does,
mean.
but the coaches don't. So
It's like Big Doug said. I'm worried more about us than I am the Packers. I agree with that sentiment so much more than what they are bringing to the table.
I see our guy Brian there talking about a poor field favors the offense, not the defense. Tell that to the Bills when playoff time comes around and they can't do shit and can't move the ball and can't throw it downfield when it's snowy and cold and gross outside.
Who has the better? Who do you? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you're good. What you got?
I was gonna say, who do you think has the better run game in this game, us or the Packers?
Aaron Jones,
inclement weather.
Aaron Jones is
kind
a
of
better
knows
running
it.
back than Isaiah Pacheco. I'd say that probably.
A little more seasoned. Yeah, I think that's fair.
But whether they have the better running game or not, I don't know. Is Jarrett McKinnon going to be back?
I haven't
I
seen.
don't think so.
The human snail is averaging like 8 yards a carry somehow.
Yeah, he looked pretty good.
How about his
Our
15
guy
yard play getting
CEH man
called
is
back,
looking
dude?
shifty and breaking tackles and
Oh man,
He's
I
looking
felt bad
so
for him on that
good,
one.
and I hate it.
people. Good for him, man. Like I don't hate the dude, right? I want to see what he's in there.
I've
do
always
good.
wanted him to do good, but he just hasn't. And like,
Just hasn't.
it's really good to see him doing it, but
Yeah, that's
4
a little
years
bit,
too late.
Yeah.
All right,
What's
John
that,
C's got her back. Jet did not practice today.
what's that saying? Day late, dollar short. That's where old
Right.
CEH is at right now. So,
Well, hey, maybe he'll really start running hard, trying to get on a team next year. You know,
I'm recalling
Contract
the game.
year.
I saw him out there, and I text you guys the snail emoji, right? And then he
Oh,
busts one for like 15 and like a huge
Right.
first down, and it gets called back on holding, and it's just
No.
like, oh man,
such
I
a
felt
bullshit
bad.
holding call too. Jesus,
Yeah.
man. So, unless the Chiefs just go out there and the offense goes back into hibernation and they turn the ball over 3 or 4 times, Chiefs are going to win this game.
Yeah. There's no reason they shouldn't.
Let's do some score predictions. Let's see your
All right,
score
chat.
predictions there in the chat, everybody.
I got a cool cell phone holder. Just stick this right to the back of your cell phone. Comes up. And like I don't know, you can set it up as like a little stand. It's a little money holder.
Oh.
But should you get the score right, I'll send you this.
All right. Got to get it right though.
Cell
Got to
phone
be like
law.
our man Mark, and you got to nail it. I couldn't believe that dude nailed it, man. That was all. That was awesome.
I might have a shirt or something we can throw in too.
We got
Whoa.
so many replies to that post too. I was thinking, fuck, it's gonna be a pain in the ass to go through and like add up who was closest. And all. And I saw him. I was like, all right, my man. Like, saving me
My
my
man.
ass here, bro. Like, appreciate that. We got Big Doug on the record, 28-10.
Ooh.
Oh.
18
you guys,
points.
I'll go first this time. You guys usually go first and I go last. So that's,
What'd you say the spread was? 7?
yeah, it's open at 7.5 and it's gone down to like 6.5. But
I feel like it's got to be more than that.
yeah,
What
no,
does
I think
Vegas know?
Chiefs are going to cover that number.
Our spread against the Raiders was 9.5. Are the Packers better than the Raiders?
Well, they didn't fire their head coach and they didn't bench their quarterback.
That's true. That's also true. Very true.
Yeah.
I'm going to go 28-6.
28-6.
I
One
hope
man
so.
show goes 26-3. Wow. All right, gentlemen. I love it.
28-6 Chiefs. I think
People
the
are calling
defense
a big win,
hounds.
huh?
I think the defense hounds the Packers, and especially if it's poor weather. Nick,
I'm gonna go a little more conservative. I want to go 24-10.
Just a 14-point.
Just
You
a
just
14.
Big
Just
Doug.
a little
Big Doug
conservative
picked?
there.
Do what?
What was that?
isn't that what Big Doug just picked?
Did he say 24-10? He said 28-10.
Oh, 28-6.
A little more conservative. All right. Well, I feel like our offense might be clicking. Like, I'm hopeful that was the turnaround point that we were talking about and that we see some touchdowns instead of field goals. I'm going to go in the 30s, gentlemen. We're going to break 30. Let's say 35. Like, we're talking some junk time. 35-17. Right there.
35-17. Okay. We're all on the
John
board.
C's got 28-9. You got Brenda 27-13. Nobody is scared of the Packers. That's good.
I like these scores, guys.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
You know, every now and then there's like an anomaly when we're doing this. Like somebody's a little bit more realistic. They'll call a 3-4 point game. Not this one. Everybody seems to be.
No.
If we get 50
7-10
points,
plus.
Bo will get a hamburger tattooed on his face.
Don't agree to that, Bo.
Oh,
Right here on his cheek.
Yeah.
it'll be like a teardrop, but a little.
We'll start
hamburger.
calling him Bird. What's up, Bird?
What's up, cheeseburger?
Getting back to the giveaway there over on X. You don't have to,
31-10.
if you've got an X account and you're watching and you haven't followed us and reposted the post about the Butker jersey giveaway, make sure you get over there and do that. You guys think he goes perfect on the ear?
Sure, why not?
Uh,
I want to give away a jersey.
I want to
Yeah,
give
no,
away a
look.
jersey, but I'd feel better going into the postseason if he'd missed at least one.
If we don't give away the jersey, do I get the jersey? Because then I'm going to say no.
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 Said jersey will be purchased when he does the perfect thing. I don't think I'm just going to go buy it. Here's the thing, man. Like, I love Butker, but I can't wear a jersey with the number 7 on it. Every time I see the number 7, I think of John Elway.
John
and
Elway.
it just fucking irritates the shit out of me. So, like, I
Sure.
can't do it, man. I can't wear a number 7 jersey.
That's
Gotcha.
fair.
That's probably
Looks you'd
stupid.
get at Rally House buying a Butker jersey too.
No,
the right
you'd,
one,
have,
right?
you'd have to order it off Chief Shop.
You know,
they
he's
got
a
men,
kid,
they
right?
got they got men's.
Where did
and
you
ladies.
find this?
You guys related, or
If it's the lady that wins the jersey, man, we'll get you a ladies jersey if that's what they want. So make sure you go to X, and I mean, maybe if he misses like 1 or 2, we might still do the jersey. I'm just saying. So make sure you get over there and get in the contest. Anything else you guys want to talk about before we get out of here? Did we miss anything, or anybody? In the
well, we're just close on the other giveaway too, right? So we've got several different prizes we're giving away. Just make sure that we got a lot of loyalists here that watch every week. Just make sure that you're all on the up and up to be entered in that.
AKA post a screenshot that you follow us somewhere, either on Instagram, Facebook, or Twitter. to prove that you're following us and to
Or
enter
you-
into this giveaway.
Or just even if you don't have any of those, just email us at chiefskingdomlive@gmail.com. Screenshot showing you're subscribed to YouTube. So we want to be fair, right? Those are the rules we put out, and but we also want all of you in the chat to be eligible too. So
It's this close. We might give it away this week.
We're
Maybe
picking
next
it.
week.
We're close.
We're picking. We do all the giveaways at random. We just kind of randomly pick somebody. So, the more and more people start following us and subscribing, the harder it is though to win. So,
And again,
we
if you
want to give
haven't
this stuff.
heard,
We want to give this stuff away. So, if you
Yeah,
know
we're giving
somebody
away-
that's got YouTube, and
dang,
maybe
Brenda's
they're
ruthless.
not a
She's
Chiefs fan,
going to miss this week.
maybe if they don't even watch, get them to subscribe. That way you got a better chance. Just don't tell them about the screenshot part. That way,
you know, we're 9 subscribers away from giving away jerseys, shirts, Super Bowl memorabilia, stickers, koozies, bucket hats. I mean, we're giving away so much stuff. We're giving 5 people stuff. We're 9 subscribers away. There's 13 people watching right now. If you guys all go create an account and hit subscribe, you can fire off that giveaway real quick and increase your chances of winning one of these things.
Right. If you got 2 or 3 email addresses, maybe if you got a work email or something, just create another account, post a screenshot, send it to us on social media, or email it to the chiefskingdomlive@gmail.com. Get yourself an extra entry.
Dang,
So,
I oughta
dang,
do
if you're not cheating, you're not trying, right? So,
that.
who? I see Laney here talking about John's on the Christmas tree.
I don't know.
Don't tell people that, Laney. Just don't go there. Speaking of Christmas tree, is our man John C still watching? I think he got the Travis Kelce tree ornament last year, but that lazy ass took too long to get it sent out and missed Christmas. I wonder if John C's got that sucker up there on the Christmas tree this year.
He had to have Christmas in July to put that one up, huh?
Nice. Our man John C says yes, he's got it up there.
Nice.
Well, I'd like to see a picture of that, man. You have to show you can hook us up with a pic of that somehow.
Yeah.
So, but
We're a channel that gives away things. We give away to our winners. They sometimes come to our show.
And the giveaways are real.
right, they're real. They're real. We actually give the stuff away. So,
And we'll actually post the winners. Hey, when you guys win, we'll show that you guys won too, so everybody else knows that you guys won. So
right. Yep. It's better to be a winner than a loser. So
that's why we're in Chiefs Kingdom.
yeah, no doubt. For a slight fee, we can work something out, John. I got some money. You got free room and board at my house anytime you want to come out and visit and shoot some pool on the table, John. See, I sound like you're a little bit of a pool shark by some of the comments he's made in previous episodes. So, yeah, look forward to that.
If John, if you're in a picture taking mood, and you take a picture of the CKL sticker on your helmet, I think we'd all like to see that too. So
Yeah, for sure. Yep, the old motocross helmet. So,
Or bike. It doesn't have to be the helmet. You can just put it right on your bike. No big deal.
all right, fellas. Well, we're gonna get out of here. I think we talked about just about everything. So, make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you've sent in your screenshot somehow showing you're subscribed, because we're gonna gather those all up when we get to 500, and then pick the winners. Follow us on all of our social medias. Maybe have the notifications turned on. That way, if we decide we want to do like a surprise contest like we did with the Chiefs Raiders score, you don't miss it. You make sure to get in on that. Turn on the notifications when we go live. We're going to try and put some more videos and some more stuff on the channel here coming down the stretch and
trying to
getting
get more
into the
active.
playoffs. So maybe do some live streams of like some Sunday night football or some Monday night football. So I don't know what your guys' plans for the games Sunday night are, but if you guys want to come over to the house and hang out and shoot some pool and maybe watch some football.
I think I'm doing a thing.
I like pool.
Doing
like
a
football.
thing.
Yeah, it's
What?
it's dad stuff.
a thing.
You'd make fun of me if I told you.
Doing a
I'm
thing
gonna-
instead of watching.
Nerd.
Well, I'm going to be watching the
Nerd,
Chiefs
hanging out with
game.
your kids instead of watching football.
Yeah, well, it's like a bunch of the families from the soccer team are getting together, and the kids are going to do gingerbread houses.
Get your
and we're gonna watch the
priorities
football
straight,
game.
man. Come on.
So- If you want to come do gingerbread houses, Scott, you can come.
Nah, I'm good.
I'm good.
Just Scott?
Bo?
Hey, man.
No kidding. Dang. Well, Bo just said
I
he's
forget
going
that you're
right now.
here, Bo. Yeah.
All right, man. I get it.
No, we got to get together and watch as many of these games as we can while Bo's in town. So it was
Yeah,
fun.
for sure.
It was fun getting over to Bo's house and watching the Chiefs game. I think that's, other than the
Right
games
up
we've gone
until
to
they
in
lost.
person, I think that's probably the first Chiefs game I've watched them on TV since AFC Championship game against the Bills in 1995 or whatever fucking year that was. So,
Damn, we're
Yeah.
0 for 2 in the last 2 games.
yeah, it's
We'll get
not
it.
good. So, but the curse is on his house now. It's off of my house. It's on the Bo's house. Good thing he won't be living there for too long.
Yeah, it's a rental. It's a
Right,
rental.
it's a rental.
Just for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, really appreciate everybody watching. It's a lot of fun. Chiefs
Yes, thank you
playing.
everyone in the chat for showing up and participating. We really appreciate you guys so much. Thank you.
Oh yeah,
Thank
no,
you 1,000%.
yeah. I look forward to this every week. And if you would have told me when we started this that we'd have 500 subscribers and we'd be getting all these people, these views, and making the friends that we've made, I don't know that I would have believed you. But hey, up and on to better things, and if we can start getting some money rolling in, maybe through like the X and through YouTube here, we can do some more giveaways and hook some more Chiefs
Love
Kingdom
to.
up with some free stuff. Free stuff. The best stuff is free stuff. Just like back
Oh, yeah.
in the drinking days, my favorite beer was free beer. So, really appreciate everybody swinging by. Chiefs play Sunday Night Football in Green Bay, Super Bowl I. Not going to call it a rematch, but you got to be able to call a rematch this far back.
It's a rematch.
Jason Kelsey agrees.
We get
with
the
me, too.
trophy if we win.
By the way, Jason Kelsey agrees with me. If you watch the New Heights, he was talking about that, and he says that when he was talking about the all the viewers, it was the most watched Monday night game in however many years it was, and he was reading Adam Schefter's tweet where it says the Super Bowl rematch, and Jason Kelsey says, which I refuse to call it. So Jason Kelsey is on team. It's not a rematch with Scott. That validated my point there. Made me feel a lot better about it because a lot of people gave me shit about it. So look forward to the game Sunday. Chiefs need to win here to keep pace with the Ravens and the Dolphins and the Jags and some of these other teams here at the top of the AFC that loss to the Eagles,
Yeah.
although it was an NFC loss, brought us back to the pack. So Chiefs are still in control of their destiny. They'll have all the tiebreakers as long as they keep winning here.
If we win every game, then we're going to be playing at home.
Right. We'll be playing at home, and
We're in the
and
driver's seat.
I will be there. So thanks again for watching. Make sure you're subscribed. Make sure you're following us on all those social
Oh,
media.
real
that
quick,
Chiefs
Scott,
Kingdom
this is
Live.
for you too.
If
Just
you-
remembered, sorry to interrupt you, sir. Playoff tickets for Wild Card Weekend went on sale 2 days. So I think you have early access. I think general public can access it now. I mean, it went on this morning, but get your tickets for the playoffs. They're already on sale.
Playoffs.
Sorry to cut you
Playoffs.
off there, sir.
Playoff race starts Sunday on Sunday Night Football against the Green Bay Packers. We'll be back next Wednesday to talk about that and look ahead to the next game and talk about any Chiefs news. Hopefully, maybe we can announce some winners of some giveaways here. So until next Wednesday, let's go Chiefs.
Go Chiefs!
Do it live.
Patrick Mahomes is basically God playing quarterback.